I am your host of Straight Talk. We are the talk show that is made for men by men. And we even do it to a beat sometimes. So, guys, it's Sunday. It's 7 o'clock, and you know what time that is. We do Straight Talk here. This is the show that has been made for men by men. Not even ladies want to miss it. And we talk about man stuff. I won't call it a man cave, but we talk about life, love, relationships, money, social challenges. And tonight, for sure, we're going to take on a man-sized conversation. We're going to be talking football. But this is, we're going to take this approach in a way that it's not easy to find this one, because we're going to get an up-close and personal view and insight on what is known as the juice, meaning someone has what it takes to be a champion. We're going to look at some college ball. We're going to look at the NFL. We're going to look at who we can expect to be in the Super Bowl. And we're going to look at some up-and-coming superstars. We're going to look at where some teams might be getting clogged up and not using the best. And we're going to do that with a guy who has the juice himself. He has that eye for talent, even when no one else knows that you have that talent. He's got that kind of eye. So you've seen him before. He's been here, and we did this kind of show in the past. We call him the Scout. What's going on, man?
Hey, what's going on, man? I tell you, I couldn't wait till you gave me the go to come on the show, and I'm just ready to blow.
Perfect.
How about that? Yeah.
We're not even halfway through the season yet, man.
Oh, you know what? I tell you, right before I came on, I had to check. I had to check my fantasy. I had to get out the game for 2-3 years because I get, you know how I am. When I get into something, I go all in.
How have you
So I had
been?
to take a couple years off because I was getting entrenched into it, but I got back in it this year. And as far as today goes, when I got off and checked it, I had a 64% chance of winning. So I can take that.
That's better. That's better than 50-50. So how you
Yeah,
been, man? How you feeling?
man, I'm doing good, man. Like I say, we got some past history together, some not too distant future past history workings together, and um, I don't know if you want to get into that, but like I was already progressing into some things I wanted to do, and then I got to working with you on some stuff, both on the personal and business tip, and it just elevated me to another level. That's why
Man,
when you asked me to come on the show, man, I was like, hey, to come on your platform, it was, I respect you as a person. I respect your platform. So
thank you,
that
thank
was
you.
that was a go. I had to make the calendar room to come on.
Well, look, man, I know you have that kind of eye for talent, man, and you've done it for a long time over the years. Um, and as you said, you and I had a business relationship, and you were progressing already, and there were some things that we, talked about, worked on, and the intent was to take you to your next level. So,
Mhm.
are you looking to take your talent to the next level? Are you going to be should people be on the lookout for you anywhere, somewhere?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that because here within a week or two, I'll be having my own YouTube
Oh,
channel,
excellent.
and
Excellent.
definitely gonna lean on my man Ted for a couple suggestions before I do so.
So
But
what
yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I got some people, that I've been looking to line up for quite some time to do something like this, and of
okay.
course, I gotta have Ted come on the show.
I look forward to that. What's your
Yeah.
channel called, man? Just to let people know.
I was thinking about calling it Inside the Hashes. I was thinking about calling it
Okay.
Inside the Hashes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Because the show is going to be mainly about football evaluations, but at the same time, man, no telling what the topic might be because it depends on like who I might have on the show. I mean, I got NFL caliber guys, coming on the show, people
Right.
behind
Right.
the scenes, players in college right now, maybe, it just depends. Or I might just go solo or have other talent evaluators come on the scene that people might not know about, but they need to know about, and I know about, and just give them the platform so they can show the skills they got as far as their evaluation skills. But I'm looking forward to it, and of course, I got to take live calls. That's what it's all about.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
are you going to look at any other sports aside from football?
No, no, for the show, just strictly football.
Strictly football. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. Any things that you might cover that might handle, and I'm going to ask uh, about another sport because we all know the gentleman who in basketball got hooked up with the wrong girl, made a baby, and
Oh yeah.
a lot of these rookies, whether it's football, basketball, baseball, get hooked into the wrong woman, and they've got 18 years of child payment plans, and the
Right.
woman she's laughing all the way to the bank because all she had to
Hmm.
do was
Hmm.
open up her legs and let him drop
And
a
there she
load,
go.
and now
Yeah.
she's on easy street.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because when I mentioned I wanted to have you on the show, it's a football platform, but at the same time, I'm going to be bringing like people, maybe outside of football, but related
Okay.
to football, like
Okay.
topics like you just brought up. I might
Okay.
have you come on the show and we might, have a 10, 15, 20-minute segment talking about these type of topics that need to be, talked about
Address.
and examined and addressed, like you said. Yeah. So I can have somebody outside of football, but football related and have
It's
them on my
related.
platform.
Right. Right.
Right.
Right.
That's what I'm looking forward to because like anything else, like evaluating, when it comes to the show, I'm just looking for talent. And then
Right.
I'll plug
Right.
the talent on the field, because
So
you're a talented guy. I can't have you on the bench. Come on.
thank you.
No.
So so yourself, man, why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself and how you got into, looking at talent before we start diving into the football itself. We have quite a few callers that want to engage you. So let them know who you are. Tell them about yourself a
Yeah.
bit.
Well, that's fueling me up that we got some callers because I love live stuff. That's what I used to always do. I used to do national call-in shows, which I'm going to start picking back up because
Okay.
the live feedback is where it's at, so you can show people what you got. But yeah, going back to the beginnings, I was probably like 8 years old and not really knowing what I was doing, but I love football. I come out from the state of Ohio, and I'm going to tell you, for the most part, most guys, you come out the crib loving football, and
Okay.
so I was the same way. I mean, you live, sleep, and eat it. Play it outside, whatever. Play it inside, whatever you got to do.
So what exactly breaking lamps, right?
Oh man, I did
Tackle.
it all. Putting the socks together and throwing the socks. Oh man, we did it everything.
So so what were you doing at 8 that most 8 year olds were not doing that you think gave you an advantage?
Well, probably a lot of people thought it was peculiar, to be honest with you, but to me it was just normal. So like I say, I got the football bug. I call it the gridiron bug. Once you get bit, that's it. And
Right.
so back then you didn't have YouTube, you didn't have replays of games and stuff like that. And I started loving, watching the game and watching, why was this particular player, depending on what his position was at, why he was better than this guy. It wasn't just all just because of talent. Was it instincts or, I didn't go into it thinking that, but after I started watching the games, then I would pull out a sheet of paper, a pencil, and just start writing down things. And over time, I noticed that, man, I had to get really good at my notes because, like I said, there wasn't no replays, wasn't no YouTube to refer to the games.
Right, right.
So, for instance, like if Ohio State was on and they was playing some team from the West Coast, say UCLA, man, that was big time because I didn't get to see West Coast teams all the time. So I'd be like, boom, writing down everything. Like if I seen a player, I was like excited. That was like Christmas and New Year's for me. To find that guy that most people didn't see. And
Right.
so, man, I couldn't, whether they was good or known or not, wasn't the point. I just looked for talent. I don't care what the name was on the back of the jersey, or if the guy was all American, or or if he was all whatever. I just looked straight at the talent. And
What were the things that you started to recognize in players that, because you said you were trying to understand why was this guy, even though they were in the same position, could be same team, different teams, why did they play so differently? What did you notice?
well, a lot of it was, depending on what level of football you're talking, um, the talent level gets dispersed more the lower the level. Then the higher the level you go, the talent gets closed in.
Right,
See?
right.
So, college, a lot of these guys that I was starting to see, they might have a lot of yards and stuff, but then I was starting to notice as the years was going on, I'm like, man, that guy, he didn't do that good in NFL. So then I'm scratching my head and going, why wasn't that guy doing good? See? And
Right.
so then I start seeing characteristics of the guys that went to the NFL compared to the guys that weren't doing good. I'm like, oh, okay. I see he did that juke cut, or he did that jump cut, or something I call, the hidden yardage with running backs. I don't be hearing that, but what I call defined hidden yardage is that yardage you might see a running back and you go, and the crowd goes, whoa. Hey, I didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming either, because that's what they born with. That's the hidden yardage. And so I started seeing those type of characteristics. And then, believe it or not, when I got so entrenched into what I was doing, you can actually kind of predict a player's, how do I say it, character, even
Right.
off the field by how he acts, his mannerisms, how he carries himself, how he walks, how a lot of things, man. And so, because I didn't have access to talk to these guys necessarily at the time, in person, on the phone, or whatever, wasn't no Facebook. So I was like really geared into what these, like a Walter Payton, how he carried himself. Did he interact with his teammates? When he scored a touchdown, how did he react? And did it, was his players, his teammates coming to him to and rejoice him? because they loved him as a teammate. You know, these are the types of things you got to look at. And those characteristics tend to go off the field. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, and there was players down the road, I would go, man, you know, I thought he'd have a longevity type of career, long past what he did. And then maybe 6 years down the road, you hear things, you know, that might come in the papers or whatever. And then you go, oh, okay. So then that went in my memory bank. And then that's for the next guy. See?
So you started seeing a pattern of a certain mindset for the top
Yeah.
performers, the medium, and the lower. And
Right.
I guess you could even start seeing it in high school, like who was going to do well in college, and then from college, how that pack was going to be separated.
Yeah, like I think it was like 3 or 4 years ago, I put something together with a camera guy and what I call my protege at the time. And we would go to local high school games and try to help the kids get scholarships. You know, I'd be on the sidelines with them and get access to the field. And one thing I noticed, even at the high school level, even though I played, you know, there's certain characteristics there, and they kind of like cross over at every level, to be honest with you. Like there was kids that we seen and we could call it out. It was so the lower the level, the easier to me. That's me personally. And the guy that I have, the young guy I had helping me out. And what we noticed, you know, we put our notes together and you can tell the guys that are D1, meaning like Ohio State type guys, or you can tell the guys that are Ohio University type guys. You can tell the guys that might have to go to Ohio State red shirt, but they got a high percentage chance of making it to the NFL, you know? Like my eyes to the point now where I can watch a college game and see like a red shirt freshman or a sophomore that, you know, is a reserve player, but he's running down on special teams. And I can tell by certain characteristics that guy not only is going to start in college, but he's going to be an NFL guy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let's take a couple. I'm going to bring in 2 callers here at the same time. Area code 870 and 310. You're both live and on the air with Street Talk. We've got the scout. We've got the guy who has the eye for talent. And 870, let him know your name, where you're calling from, and then 310, you go after. 870.
Good evening to you. How's it going?
Oh, pretty well, man. Thanks for calling in.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell me that. Is that country boy?
It is.
Yeah, I know that voice. Come on now.
And hold 1 second, country boy. 310. Let them know you're in the house. Tell them your name.
It's the UFC Trojan. I guess I'm talking to the Buckeye man again.
No doubt about it. Hey, real quick. I was rejoicing yesterday, big time. The boys was putting it off, wasn't they?
Oh yeah. That quarterback they showed up. They were trying to throw on him first, but he's a California boy too. But he showed up.
Oh, no doubt. CJ Stroud, man. CJ Stroud. Look for him for that Heisman, man. Look for the Heisman. Look for that Heisman.
Oh no, I'm watching them. I watch all the California boys.
Yeah. You know what? Man, here I go. I'm thinking you said USC, right?
Yeah, that's the one that we fired our coach finally about. You know.
Right. Well, you know that what's that quarterback you got over there, number 9? What's his name?
Ken Slovis.
Slovis. Yeah. I watched him, man. You know what? That guy, he NFL caliber, but he definitely gonna be a reserve type guy. But he's NFL caliber though.
Well, the better one transferred to Georgia and sitting over there while they winning. They just let him rest. JT Daniels.
Right. Yeah.
So, Alabama got a California quarterback. Clemson got one too. He's struggling right now.
Right.
JT Daniels. And you got my man at Ohio State.
Yeah, CJ's from there. Yeah. You guys be producing a lot of guys. I think the guy from Oklahoma is this Williams. He might be from California too.
no, he's from somewhere else. Actually, the one he replaced, the Heisman Trophy that was screwing up. He actually from Arizona, so he's from that
Okay.
region too.
Okay. Yeah.
So you have
Okay,
so Reg, you have a question, comment, something you want to engage the scout with?
Well, let's see. It's early in the season. Let's see. Football. Okay. Who are your picks for the playoffs and the finals in the NCAA? And who are the teams you think is going to be major players in the playoffs for the NFL and the impact players, the bust, and all of that type of stuff?
Well, when it comes to the NFL, I was just watching the Tampa Bay game just before I came on, and I tell you, they look tough, man. I mean, Brady, I'm a fan of Brady. I don't love Brady, so to speak, but the guy, I was watching him today, and he's a pro's pro, no question about it. I mean, you got to get a guy love. I mean, the dude, he's on point. He's a professional, and the way they got their team put together, I think they're hurting right now on the back end, on the defensive back end. But as far as the rest of the team, man, that they built to win. I mean, I see them making a tough, a strong push, and I'm liking Kyler and them out there in Zona. I mean, Arizona looking tough with Kyler. They got the defense, they got the offensive weapons to support them, and special teams the whole nine. AFC, man, that's a tough one. Go ahead.
Well, I'm looking at the decline of Kansas City because they might have plateaued out. I think they had an opportunity to win another Super Bowl and they didn't. And now I think after they won that first one, and then Mahomes is seeming to be coming down to earth real fast. So we're gonna see what happens with him. He might already be on the decline. I think they hot, and then when they start to slide, they just started to. So go ahead.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought him up because, man, I'll tell you what, the Titans was looking tough, man. Derrick Henry, I mean, that's a runaway freight train right there.
Well, yeah, that's 6'2", 240 pounds coming downhill on you.
Right.
The linebackers and them safeties and DBs don't want no part of that.
And to be totally open with this, I remember when he was coming out of Alabama, and one thing I didn't notice with him, man, to be honest with you, is his hips, man. I mean, that dude got some swiveled hips for a big guy, and that's a big key to his success. I mean, when he get in between them tackles, man, not only do he got the strength, but he got that vision, like the combination of strength, vision, and then he got swivel hips and quick feet. I mean, that to get that in one type of package at the running back spot anymore, that's rare, man.
Yeah, they got at his size, he got a powerful stiff arm for them guys when they.
I love that stiff arm. I'm glad you brought that up today. I was writing up some profiles, and it was a tight end I seen, and he was utilizing that stiff arm. That's old school. I love that stuff.
Oh yeah, that's serious right there.
Hey, so what's his 40 time?
Oh, he was a low 4.4 guy coming out.
Was he really with that?
Yeah, he's like a 4.4 340 guy, and I believe he's like 6'3", 6'4". He's about 240, 250, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and I mean, he looked like everything you was looking for when he went to the combine, but to me, he was looking like a little stiff, and I was like a little concerned. But and then I got concerned when he went to the Titans because the first couple of years, if you remember, they didn't really use him that much. So then I was like, man, I'm thinking, do he not have the instincts or something? Because normally, at the running back spot, either you got the juice or you ain't got it.
Well, no, first he got there, he was struggling, but I think he had a conditioning problem. I think once he got his mind right and then he got in shape. Because if you check out his workouts now, once it's it was just a point of him just getting growing up, I think, and because physically he was, look at his size, but he started dieting, got a trainer, got in there, and just now look at him. I mean, if you got some of his workouts, they're pretty impressive.
Yeah, yeah. And one thing I like about him too, man, you know, as much success he have, you don't see him gloat that much. You know what I mean? He very professional.
Yeah, he's from Florida. I think I think he's from Florida somewhere. He's a Southern boy, obviously. Yeah, but he keeps a low profile. No,
Right.
A smart and strong, real men move in silence. So he sees that.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. You're right.
Continue.
Mm-hmm. And you know what? I'm glad you brought that up because, like I referred to earlier, when it comes to evaluating, those are the types of things I do look at, man. You know, when I take in my evaluations, I throw that in my notes. You know, because you know, longevity. Is he professional? How does he carry himself on the field? Even on interviews, sometimes, you know, when I got a question about a guy, I'll check out their interviews, see how they conversate, because some guys, you know, they speak what I call baller talk. You know, they ain't long conversationalist type people, but I can tell by the way they talk and what they say, I can defer. Yeah, that dude's a baller, you know?
Just quick question. In a comment, Mr. Earl, he said the rookie Fields will be traded in a couple of years. I don't think it will work in shot.
Well, you know, there's a lot of things that come into that because, you know, for one thing, it's going to be who's his head coach going to be, because I hope we don't have Nagy, his head coach now, because I was just watching, like I said earlier, and man, the offenses they got him in, the way they got him deployed. I mean, man, they was coming off rushing the corner off the edge. Now, granted, he should pick some of that up, but I'm thinking, man, they ain't got nobody to chip him. You know what I mean? Some of the stuff is like design. Is the designs are like just flawed big time. And when he was coming out of Ohio State, I think I had him third out of the quarterback class coming out this year, because the one thing I had about him, he's got great composure and feel for the game, but he tended to like hesitate before his passes. And sometimes that concerns me, because then you got to start worrying about the process. Can he process fast enough? I mean, at the quarterback position, normally, I mean, for the most part, 90% of the time, either you can process fast or you can't. Yeah, I mean, you can't go for training for that stuff. And I don't see that time and time again. But he got so many gifts athletically. Even if, let's say, he an 85% processor, he'll be all right. He'll be a franchise type guy.
So you think it's going to work?
Yeah. Fields, he's got it, man. Because you can tell right now when he's in the pocket, he's very calm. You know, I mean, that's a rare trait for a rookie. And
but if he hesitates and he's under pressure, and that's going to get in his way then.
Oh yeah, because one thing that like when I'm watching quarterbacks, I can tell, like once they gear up to throw the pass, I can tell in my head like 1 second, 1 second, and stuff like that. You can tell if they double pump or whatever by what they do, their mannerisms. I can tell he should have got rid of the ball. And too often with him, when he was at the college level, I say like 30% of the time, man, he was just not letting it go, not letting it rip. You know, now I heard a lot of times, I don't know. See, these are the types of things I don't know. Like Day, head coach, they said they had like a one read offense, you know, because for the most part, they got great athletes and they usually get open on the first read. So, you know, why had a guy hesitate? But at the same time, man, you know, like Joe Burrow, that used to be at Ohio State, went to LSU and turned it out. He's a lot more nuanced, man. You can just see it, you know, where he's like, it just clicks much faster. Whether they told him he was supposed to do one read or not, he's just a baller, and he gonna do what he gotta do to win no matter what. So if I had to pick between him and Fields, it ain't because he won the Heisman or nothing. He just got more nuance about his position, and he can do things. When things come up that ain't expected, he can adjust quickly to it. See what I'm saying? You don't have to think.
Well, see that exactly right. So if you're under pressure and things happen you didn't expect it to happen, and you have to scramble, and your man is open, and you hesitate, play.
Right. It don't matter as athletic as Fields is. If he takes that split second longer to think whether it's run or pass, it's too late.
Right. Right.
It's too late.
Hey, it's something I know that I'm gonna make Mr. CJ straight. I saw at the beginning of the year they was trying to they were very critical of him. You know, I was watching him, right?
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Freshman, right? And I saw them. They got this other blue chipper kind of sitting over there, right?
Yeah.
Brother coming out of Rancho Cucamonga, biracial, of course. If you look at it, you can tell. So I'm looking at the I'm like, wait a minute. They're trying to put the heat on this boy already. And he's a freshman. And he, you know, I mean, they've been very critical of him. Not, you know, not that he wasn't performing. Maybe they felt, you know, he wasn't up to par, you know, up to some kind of standard. But, you know, he had a little struggle going on. But he was, you know, I would think if they had beat Oregon and had lost that Oregon game, which wasn't his fault, because the defense was not watching the game. You know, I'm a Pac-12 guy, so I'm not watching the Oregon game, but I'm watching it too. And then, you know, so then I had a couple of games that let him rest of the shoulder, and he just, since he got back, and then he told him, he said, I'm not worried about nothing. I got my faith, I got this and that. He came back and he's on fire. So I don't know. I mean, he's a redshirt freshman. I don't want to talk about Heisman with him, but he got some monster numbers, you know. And we continue on. We're gonna see what happens.
No, I'm glad you brought up about the other quarterback because you know, with me being, I'm out in Ohio, and you know, I'm on the pulse with that stuff with a lot of the guys that cover the team and things like that. And yeah, the kid you was talking about that they brought in, he's got the highest score coming out of high school ever. You know, I mean, he left high school a year early so he could come to college to Ohio State a year early, and you know, sign an NIL deal. I think he's making like $1 million, man. So yeah, you know, it puts the team in a somewhat tough. Now I wouldn't say tough spot because either way they got the talent, but you know, these guys can transfer now. You know, so if the CJ continues to progress like he is, I mean, man, I don't see how you gonna get him out of there. You know what I mean? I mean, he's a red shirt freshman, so he'll have next year for sure. And then the following year, you know, he can leave. But until then what? You know what I'm saying? So somebody might have to transfer, and I don't think it's gonna be CJ if he continues on this you know, streak.
No, Spencer is that freshman tailback. He, you know, able to check them boxes, and you know, you get a running game and the offensive line, and you got stuff going. I mean, you know, that's the key ingredient for this boy to keep going. So I'm watching him. I'm seeing my man at Clemson, the one out of Bellflower. He struggled. He's been struggling long. They benched him for a minute yesterday. So he was hot last year. We know when he came in to relieve. I forgot the number one.
Oh yeah, the kid that went to the Jags.
Yeah. I just thought when he's gonna come in, he was just going to be ready to go. He's been struggling. I mean, he's been struggling from the very first game. And then, you know, Bryce Young, you know, he over here with all that talent at Alabama. So we're going to see how he does. And I'm waiting for JT Daniels to come on back with Georgia, because, you know. So we're going to see what's going on. But
real quick, what's your thoughts on JT Daniels?
I like him. No. He's got that. What they call it, thoroughbred. But he come out of modern day, just like Bryce Young. He started at USC when he's supposed to be a senior in high school. So, but he's been hurt. I don't know what they're doing. They've been winning with Bennett over there, who
right.
When the stage gets when the stage gets really major, Bennett ain't gonna be the guy on the snap. It's gonna be Daniel. So I think
I'll tell you what, though. I'm looking forward to if my Buckeyes go against them Bulldogs, man, because that defense against that offense, man, that's gonna be some predatory stuff there, man. Right? Am I right?
So actually, up in Ohio State, they playing Penn State this week, but Penn State just lost. So
yeah, I ain't worried about them.
Very major game. Well, I mean, you would have had. They probably might have moved up. You know, that'd have been like number 3 or 2 against number 7. So you got two big top 10 teams playing. That'd have been a spot.
Right. Right.
Penn State laws. So that game, and then Michigan and Michigan State. You want to watch that game?
Oh, no doubt. Yeah. And you know, as much as I don't care for Michigan, I do have to say, man, they are looking a little solid. I haven't got to watch one of their total games, but they do look solid. Like you can't turn the ball over 3-4 times and think you're gonna go out with a W. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, they got a running game, but I'm looking at the Florida Georgia game because it's in the swamp.
Right.
Florida has lost some games, but that game in the swamp, I think it's gonna be a little bit. It's gonna show a little bit. They almost, Florida almost beat Alabama in the swamp. So if they get that running game going, I think this is gonna be a serious test for Georgia going to the swamp.
Well, speaking of Florida, they got a kid over there. Don't they got a kid on the bench? I think his name is Thompson, and I think he's on the bench. I think because they're starting quarterback at one time. We was looking at him coming in Ohio State, but we took somebody over him. But the guy that's backing him up, he supposed to have some juice, man.
Oh no! They love him over there, but they got the incumbent right now, and he's up and down. They do put him in, so that game is gonna be a test for Georgia, I believe. So
okay,
I believe we'll see what happens. So
all right.
Hey, country boy, you have any questions, comments, something you want to engage the scout in?
Well, challenge to be honest with the scout. We need to ask him how often do he come across those similar to that radio character.
What was that?
I don't know if you remember that character named Radio. A fan of the NFL. You remember him? They did a documentary about him a couple years back.
I couldn't hear the name. Say that again.
You said the radio.
The name is Radio.
No. I've heard of the. Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I didn't see the movie, but yeah. Tell me a little bit about that.
Notre Dame.
No, that's Rudy.
Rudy, right?
But I heard something about the radio. Was that somebody at Alabama or something like that?
If I'm not mistaken, he was.
Because I didn't never follow through on that one, but I heard something about it. Now you're gonna have me up tonight looking at that. Come on, country boy. Once I get something in my head like that.
Makes the conversation just a little interesting, you know what I mean?
Right.
But yes, sir, man. As far as the talent, man, how often do you run across, the dudes that you deem are not NFL footballer type, like the Emmett Field, not the Emmett Field, the L and all those.
Emmett Smith.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. Oh shoot! Anymore, man. I mean, them type of dudes. There's so many games and so many cameras on them type of guys anymore. There really ain't what you call, I would say to the common eye, too many sleepers, so to speak. You know what I mean? You really got to dig down deep to find some sleepers. And I mean, I be finding them all the time, man. For real. Like if I ever had time, man, I can go up and down rosters and just be like, yeah, and give you details about the guy when he was coming through the pipe. Details that were, you ain't gonna find that stuff on ESPN that I'm talking about what I'm talking about. And like even I was looking at game Appalachian State just the other day, man. There's like 3 or 4 guys right now I know gonna be in NFL, but they underclassmen. But they'll probably be third round, 4th round, 5th undrafted free agents, but they'll make the NFL. And another thing is like if I got my website, when I post a guy on the profile of a guy, I'm not looking for a guy that's gonna be like 50 through 53 on a roster. See what I'm saying? So if I got a guy that goes undrafted, if he make the squad, he gonna be a 3-4 year guy, like a second contract guy. You know what I mean? because you got a lot of guys out there can find people that can make rosters, and they'll be in the league jumping back and forth from practice squad to the 53. You know, I mean, nothing against them. That's great that they made the NFL, because a lot of people wish they could do that. But I don't really like count them guys, you know, not as an evaluator, you know. I mean, I'm talking about guys going to stick through to the second contract. That's when you're doing something.
Well, let me ask you this real quick, Mr. Scout. So, out of your own experience with evaluating these dudes, I was wondering, who would you, if you had to pick 3 young gentlemen in the league, who would you think would be considered top future Hall of Famers right now? If you had to, you know, if you had to choose your top 3 picks.
Well, I'd say I don't even want to, and kind of I wouldn't include Mahomes, because if he keep on this trajectory, I mean, come on, you know, with the numbers he got. So I won't even include him. But let me see. I got to think of somebody, because I'm trying to think about people that ain't really got the glam yet. That's a good question. Oh, my dude, the Predator that just came out of Ohio State. The DN that came that went to the Redskins. Yeah, I think he's gonna be a Hall of Famer, man. I can't think of the name off the top of my head. And he a Buckeye too. I think he went number 2 overall, but he got the juice, man. He got the juice. He got the temperament. He got.
You talking about the defensive lineman?
Oh yeah, he got the juice, man. And he got the motor. Yeah. I used to call him the Predator. I hit him up on the Twitter. He had to hit me on that one. Yeah, he definitely got. See, he got the combination of athleticism, and then he got the drive and the motor. He don't like to lose, you know. He don't like to lose. And when you put a guy with that kind of talent together, that just don't. How do I say this? They just can't concede to losing, man. They hate losing. And so he definitely a Hall of Fame type guy right there. I'm trying to think of other positions. There really ain't too many that ain't been, like, you know, you could say something like an Andre Hopkins, but I mean, everybody already know that guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you can't go. Hey, you know what? I wanted to tell you something, Scout.
Right.
You know, Justin Herbert out of Oregon, right?
Right.
Draft when the Dolphins took Tua and didn't take him, man, I just shook my head. I said, man, they just screwed it up so bad. And then here it is. I told some friends of mine, we all talked about it, and we still talking about it. Oh, now that's the one who potentially got the Hall of Fame potential.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one, Reggie. Yeah. Yeah. You know what? I got to go back when he was at Oregon, right? Now I'm going to tell you something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I would have pulled the trigger, to be honest. Now, I didn't like Tua. I'm not going to lie to you, because he just didn't show me any of the traits. He just didn't show me. You know what he reminded me of? Kind of like a Baker Mayfield type. You know, they can do stuff for you. They can run your offense, but they're not going to be able to take you to the next level. You know, you can't put the team on their shoulders type, you know?
No, man, listen. I watched that boy play. Not only he's fast, strong, 6'6", but he had a 4.2 in chemical engineering. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, so so I'm looking at all of this, looking at him, reading, looking at him and stuff, and I just knew the Dolphins was gonna take him. They went to 2, and I was like, oh no, y'all just screwed. Y'all just screwed up. I can see right now, 2 years from now, right. He probably be all banged up or gone. So.
Right. Can you imagine, like, the Dolphins fans right now? Man, every time they see a Herbert, they got to be like, oh, that kills you, man.
Hey, someone dropped a few names in here. I guess to answer Country Boy's question. One was Chase, another one was Young, Washington.
Yeah, that's him, Chase Young.
Okay,
that's the DN. Yeah, thanks.
Okay, and Washington, DeAndre. What?
DeAndre who? Oh, he might have been talking about DeAndre Hopkins, maybe.
Speed Racer.
Speed Racer. I wish you wouldn't have brought that up, man. That's one of my favorite cartoons right there. Racer X. Come on now. And I ain't gonna lie, back in the day, I did like Trixie a little bit there. I ain't gonna lie about that. I was young now.
Yeah, I got every episode on DVD.
I'm getting that, man. Hey, I want to get that. I want to get Twilight Zone. I love Columbo.
Go to Amazon. Just go to Amazon. You can get whatever you want. Just go to Amazon. You can get it.
Yeah. I'm gonna get that. I'm glad you brought that up. I gotta look at some of that. And you know I gotta watch Godzilla, man. Whenever it come on, I love some Godzilla.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so the way things looking now, just give me your playoffs for the for college football, and I'll leave you alone.
No, you ain't got to leave. I'm loving it. But no, with the college, I'd say Georgia, Ohio State. I think Cincinnati might squeeze through there. They might, as long as, well, you know, if there's some upsets, I think Cincinnati might squeeze in there. And then I'd say, wow, there really ain't too many, to be honest with you, man. Georgia, Ohio State, Cincinnati. Well, Alabama, yeah. Because even if Alabama and Georgia play each other, even if, like, let's say Georgia take a loss, man, they both gonna get in because they only got one loss each. Yeah. But that's some good questions.
So what about the NFL? Who's
You know what? I was looking at the Ravens today, man. I don't know what happened with them. Joe Burrow looked good. I don't think they ready. In the AFC, that's a tough one with the AFC because there's a lot of teams. There's a lot of young guns behind the center right now. So you don't know how they gonna act. Mahomes, man, with Kansas City, that's just not looking too good right now. That line, and they making too many mistakes. So I think the AFC is kind of open, to be honest with you. Now, one thing I had to bring up too, though, we got to see where Deshaun Watson, if he get traded. Okay. Because if Deshaun Watson get traded to the right team, man, they instantaneous playoffs and maybe could go, who knows? Because that's another guy I would say Hall of Fame. You know, as long as it's off the field stuff go out, he's definitely a Hall of Fame guy to me. Because like right now, off the rip, I say he's top 3 in the league quarterback.
I guess that's the guy who was Alexander. He said Washington when he was saying Hall of Famers.
Oh, okay. Yeah. But yeah, and then the other day I checked this out. I did my top 10 on the quarterbacks, right? I just went through a roster. I think I threw it on the Twitter today. And I had my top 10, I think, was Mahomes. And then who was it? Mahomes, Deshaun, Kyler. I know my boy from Green Bay was there. Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady was in there. I don't know from top 10, but they was in there. Joe Burrow was in there. Herbert was in there, and I'm missing somebody.
You said
my dude from the Seahawks, Russell Wilson was in there too.
Okay. And he said Watson is going to Miami.
You know what? That'd be interesting because they got some wideouts over there. They don't have a running back. So that would be difficult. I mean, you know, when he was with the Texans over there, he didn't have nothing really. He never really had a running back. So, but when you be playing in the AFC, man, that's a tough league over there, man. I mean, that's star-studded with quarterbacks, up and coming quarterbacks, and so you're gonna need more than just Watson. I mean, you know, he gonna need some running backs, some other help with him. But as far as just an entity, that guy right there, man. I mean, I had Dak Prescott in there too, in the top 10. You got to have Dak in there, yeah. But there's some doggone good quarterbacks right now, man.
So who do you think, based on where things are right now, who ends up in the Super Bowl?
You know what? I'd have to either say Arizona or Tampa Bay on the NFC side. AFC is, man, that's tricky. you like to think, I like to say Kansas City, but man, I can't do it. I can't do. They're just looking, something ain't right over there. And so I like to say Buffalo. But man, that their quarterback, he's very talented. But there's times when he makes mistakes that's just don't make any sense, you know. And so I be thinking about playoff time. So I don't quite trust him. And Lamar, man, I had Lamar in the top 10. Come on. And so right now I might have to say, wow, I might have to say either San Diego, or not San Diego, but LA Chargers with Herbert, or Lamar and the Ravens.
And who do you think will take it?
Off the top, Tampa Bay. They look tough, man. They look tough. They look tough. And I will say Brady over the years has grown on me, because I wasn't the biggest fan about 6 years. I'm not going to lie. I really wasn't the biggest fan. But, you know, when he left New England and to see what he did, and now he's got talent around him, but he put the talent together and made it cohesive. Man, you got to give the guy some credit, man. You know, just straight professionalism. Even if you don't like him personally, you got to give the guy some credit. So I got to give Tampa Bay, man. You know, and then they got that winning attitude right now. That's a winning organization. So that's a major factor. They know what it takes to win.
Reggie, where are you with his predictions?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I had to put that on mute so you know I'm out here with the animals. Let me see. I would say from the AFC right now, the way it's looking, the NFC. I just toss up between Arizona and no. You know what? I don't want to leave the Rams out. I think that NFC is a kind of a. It just might not be Tampa Bay. It could be the Rams. It could be Arizona. I don't know. You know, Green Bay got Aaron Rodgers. You can't count them out. So
right
now, Tampa Bay is looking good. You know, they got that winning fever. They didn't taste it and stuff. They know how to win. They got the confidence. They had that going on. But they might not be the one in the NFC. The AFC, that's another one. I can't go from. I've never been crazy about Baltimore and Lamar Jackson. I don't know. I just don't see him with in the money time being able to take them on that drive. You know, to get it done. I'm sorry. I know he's a brother and everything. I just
no, I know what you're saying. No, I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Reggie.
They got that work. No, they got that workhorse running back and Tannehill. You know, he can get it done. He's more than just a game manager. So
right.
You know, I would say that. But after that,
what do you think about the Chargers? I had brought up the Chargers with Herbert.
Huh? Oh, okay.
What do you think?
They are in the AFC. Yes.
Right.
They got beat up pretty good by the Ravens last week, but you know, their team, the Raiders not out of it either. So, I don't right now. Kansas City, I don't know. You know, I don't see it in them again. I think the window might have closed already. But I check back in about 2 weeks and then we'll be able to say something.
Hey, you know what? I will say this though, man. This is an interesting year, man. A lot of drama, you know. I mean, you got to watch week from week.
Oh yeah. You never know. I wouldn't mind seeing Arizona up in there with little Murray, little 5'10" quarterback.
Right. Hey, speaking of Kyler Murray, remember I was speaking earlier remember I said I had my protege, you know, he was with me about 6 years back, right? And he's good at what he do, right? And he used to focus really from high school to college. And I remember he was talking about this little quarterback, right? He showed me him. And I said, man, yeah, he looked like he got some juice, man, but man, that size, right? He said, man, I'm telling you, man, he's the #1 guy. He's gonna be the #1 pick in the NFL. And I started laughing because I'm like, dude, this dude is like 5'10". He said, I'm telling you, man. He said, I can tell his traits, right? That was Kyler Murray. Yeah. So we be talking about that one all the time, man. He picked him, man, when he was in high school, that he'd be the #1 pick in the draft.
Well, he started off at Texas A&M, so
right.
You know, so we'll see. I have a feeling that the boy from Oklahoma is going to end up Rafter. One that just got replaced by the Caleb Williams. So I have a feeling he's gonna be showing up somewhere down the road for 10.
Yeah, he definitely gonna be transferring.
Well, I don't. You don't know what this Williams is gonna. You know, I don't know. He struggled. You know, he made a play here, but they, you know, we all know what Oklahoma. You know, I don't care how many points they score. Their defense is gonna give up. Don't get a lead up. I mean, it's just their history is what it is. But,
yeah.
Yeah. So you know, when it comes to those are the teams that I'm looking at. You might not be able to. I don't know. You might not be able to throw Seattle out. They got Russell Wilson. He's another. You know, when you got those quarterbacks who got that pedigree.
Yeah.
And you know, and then you know they get into the playoffs, or you know whoever got that momentum going into the playoffs, you know, playing
right.
And you got that pedigree, and you've already tasted it. You know what it's gonna take to win it all. You know, that gives you an advantage. So
yeah. Well, they talking about he might be back for week 10, man. That ain't that long.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna tell you something because I ain't talking to you because the draft or whatever. I was pissed off 49ers, man. I wanted Justin Fields with that pick.
No, you got the right guy, man. That was my #1 quarterback, believe it or not.
What'd you say?
I said you got the right guy. That's the guy that was my #1 quarterback.
Over the Clemson boy?
Yeah.
You had him? And why was that? Because I'm still trying to figure out. I mean, you know, he a brother too. You know, he a brother too. His daddy's black, so you know.
Right.
You know how the white chicks in Minnesota get down with the brother.
I love it, Reggie. No, but the thing about him, man, his arm talent, man. I mean, he loved the game. And his mechanics, and he just, man, I tell you what, he can throw some balls that just like in a variety of ways, like with the flick of the wrist. He can make plays that 80% of the other quarterbacks can't do. And he got good field awareness. I don't like the way they was using him, primarily coming in on certain downs as a runner, because that truly ain't who he is. Like he's a pocket quarterback that happen to have, you know, mobility, because he's not a like true runner, so to speak. You know what I mean? He ain't no Lamar type, and that ain't really what he does. He looks to throw the ball first, and then he uses mobility to extend plays in the passing game, and that's what you want. You know what I mean? And then if everything break down, he can get you some yardage, but he'll never be like, you know, the leading rusher for quarterbacks or nothing like that. But no, he gonna have a great future with y'all, man. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, so you see Jimmy G over there with his thing done. He can't stay healthy. What we gonna do with him?
Hey, don't send him to the Browns. I don't want him. Leave him over there. Y'all can take Baker Mayfield if you want.
What, you don't like Baker Mayfield?
Nope. Hey, you know what Baker Mayfield is? He like a house. He got a ceiling to him, man. He got a ceiling. Once you got that ceiling, man, what's he gonna do against Mahomes? What's he gonna do against Lamar? I mean, what's he going to the kid over at Buffalo? What's he going to do against Herbert? What's he going to do against Burrow? That's just in the AFC. I ain't talking about the NFC. I mean, when you get in the playoffs, man, it's all about, come on, man. You know how it is in the playoffs. It's like the OK Corral. You got to suit it out.
I think we all made a mistake. I hate to admit it because I can't stand they fans or whatever, but the Cowboys just might be in the mix.
Yeah, Dak. I forgot about them. Yeah, you're right. You're right, Dallas.
So you think the Cowboys are like the underdog?
No, I wouldn't say that.
I wouldn't say that neither. I forgot about Dallas, man.
You know what? As long as Elliott and Prescott both stay healthy, then they could. But if Prescott loses Elliott or something like that, he normally doesn't perform the same. So I don't really know. So you'll have to see.
Okay, let me ask you this then. Have you had one game? Would you take Dak? Would you take Kyler, or would you take the old man with Tampa?
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to give it to you straight. I'm going with the one. I'm going with the winner.
Right. Yeah, I hear.
I ain't never been, like I said. I never been I never had nothing else to be another California dude. Okay, Northern California, but I never, I just always thought that he was in the perfect system. He fell into the right situation through the draft, and he just, just grew it, and they built it around him. But once he left and he made it happen, I was like, okay, that's a winner.
Yeah, that's my thought. Yeah.
Yeah, because Jameson Winston was there. I mean, Jameson was that, not no slouch. But so what's the difference? What's the difference? Why was the man able to come in there and make it happen? It's not like he got all these physical tools and all that stuff.
Right. But one thing I say too, Reggie, that I like, that I admire about him too, is what he do off the field, man. Look how he take care of his body. I mean, that's a major. I mean, that's a factor, because you gotta have self-discipline. You know what I mean? That. Come on, man.
Only thing I have a problem with that is that his wife didn't chose. He could have did better than that ugly model.
Now look at you, Reggie. That ain't right, man.
I hate to say it, man. The other one he had was better looking. She just wasn't a model. He just wanted to get him a playmate model or something. Man, come on, man. Everybody's got wife don't look good, really. She just got that. Come on,
That might have been better for his long-term resume,
Oh, yeah, okay. No, he was already a winner without her. That's why that's a white boy, golden boy looking dude. He got whatever he wants. We know how.
I thought it was that avocado ice cream he was eating. Is that what it is? I'm gonna start eating that avocado ice cream, man. Maybe that's what I need to do.
Hey, man. Hey, I'll put you like this. He got that Joe Montana. Is when he get in a huddle and everybody's looking at him, they're like, okay, we good. We gonna get this done. We down by 6. We got 30 seconds. We gotta go 70 yards.
Yeah. You pegged that right. Because you know what? I remember when I think about Russell Wilson, right? You know who I be thinking about? Joe Montana. Because they got that clutch,
Yeah, they got that when you get in there. That's that Aaron Rodgers.
Yep.
Wilson, Tom Brady.
Yep.
You know what?
There ain't that many. There ain't that many, man, like that.
Hey, how old is Brady now?
I think he's 43, 42.
You know what? I think Prescott might be able to get to that level. I mean,
yeah.
But I'm just like, I'm watching him a little bit,
Yeah. He got them like traits, man. He got the traits, the characteristic.
That's not the eating area. That's private property. If they really don't want anyone over there, just when you're done, just make sure you take the trash. Oh, go ahead. Yeah. I'm over here looking at all these bras.
I think we have agreement. Someone said 1 game, Tom Brady. So here's a question. Where does Michael Vick rank on the all-time QB list?
I'm sorry, athletic-wise, I'm sorry, I had to jump on it. To me, Michael Vick was just a freak of nature. Athletic freak. I don't put him as the winner. He never won. That was just it. I mean,
boy, Reggie, I tell you, you don't pull no punches, Reggie. I love it.
I'm a sports connoisseur.
Right.
Take off, and I swear, I've seen these guys have an angle on him. You know when you got two guys got the angle on them and think they're gonna get him, and he broke the angle, and I swear it looked like he was on ice skates. I never seen nobody moving that fast before like that.
Right, yeah.
What the heck? But when it came down to being a winner, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He was physically gifted, 5'11", 6 foot, brother quarterback.
So you're kind of talking about the leadership, is what?
Right. Yeah.
That the leadership. There's a gap in leadership. And you say when Brady goes to the huddle, they know his leadership is going to take them the distance.
Oh, they can tell. I call that Joe Montana, Terry Bradshaw syndrome. When you get in that huddle, you look at them, everybody in there like, hey, can you in that Super Bowl when San Francisco played Cincinnati back in the day, and they had the final drive. Shit, man, my offensive lineman got in there. They looked at Joe. Joe was smiling. Well, everybody in there laughing. Everybody like, no, everybody knew we about to go down here and get this.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I bet with Joe, he was already visualizing the play. This, you know what I'm saying? Like he was already visualizing the game-winning throw.
Mm-hmm.
That's what them guys do, man.
Hey, I want to stay on top, but I want to ask you something real quick. Now, you know the format about athletes when they get drafted and people talk to them about potential disasters and stuff like that, right?
Right.
Now, we talked about this already. Mr. P.J. Washington, you heard about the basketball player that got played by the IG Bottle Stars?
Yeah.
Give us, you as a guy that, knows the process, where they tell these young guys about these holes, and all that. How does a guy get caught up in that shit when the bitch didn't already told you what she was and what the game is and all of this? She didn't basically did, and you still going there and knock this chick up. Tell me, how could that happen? Real quick.
Well, one thing we do got to remember though, Reggie, them guys is like, what, 19, 20, 21? I ain't giving them no excuse. I really ain't. Because they do, like you said, they go through programs that explain these types of things. But you know how, like, when you 19, you 20, I mean, you're testosterone, bro. You know what I mean? And they ain't around women, just regular women, And so I'm not giving them no excuses. But, like, I think if that's not part of your pedigree, your upbringing, that's going to be hard to fight, You know what I'm saying, Ted? If that ain't part of your upbringing, your pedigree, to be able to fight that type of woman off, because you know what I'm saying? That's tough when you're that young. I mean, you can't go to a one-day conference and just think that's gonna, you know what I mean? That ain't gonna, alleviate the other 19 years of your life, how you were acting before that.
Now listen here. Now listen, he had teammates, coaches, a bunch of people around him. Probably guys that already knew guys that already did bang this chick and stuff. You don't think them guys was trying to tell him what time it was and what's going on? And they had to be.
They probably did. But you know how Reggie, he ain't around regular women, man. I mean, I'm not giving no excuse. And when you put the combination of his age, that's if you don't have a pedigree, like I say, maybe the family background and things like that already in place, man, that's gonna be hard to deal with,
All right. Well, okay. Now you can go ahead. Ted, you care to elaborate anybody?
But let me say this: I ain't giving no excuse though. No excuse here.
Oh, yeah, not even Ted feels sorry for his dumb ass. It's like,
I don't. No, I don't.
But damn.
Well, no, the scout made a good point when he said your environment, like your family background. So if he came up with a family where even if it was his mother saying, look, the ladies are going to be after you and don't get anyone pregnant. Like if your mother's telling you that, don't get trapped. Like women are out here and they will want to trap you. I mean, those are words my mother said to me, man. So maybe he never heard those words from his mother.
Yeah. And then what was his actions from his mom? I mean, you know, I'm just saying, what was he seeing day from day? You know what I mean?
He was raised by both his mother and father. So I'm wondering, like, hey, Dad, what the heck you doing over there, man? I mean, you left or something too? I mean, what's going on? I'm here.
Especially considering, you know, I ain't here to judge or nothing, but she did have like a past history. You know what I mean? That should make it even that much worse, you know?
Wait a minute. You never seen a YouTube video where she was telling them, if you want to get a check and find the athletes, they dumb, they fuck raw, they stupid?
Yeah, I seen that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, case closed. I mean, how many got for 24, 11 athletes, this many guys? You know.
Hey,
I don't know.
Hey, country boy, I know you wanted to say something. You wanted to get something in there. What did you want to ask or say?
Well, I add on what Chris said, because you would have to think, because
hey, hold it. Hey, Reg, hold on, country boy. Reggie, you have to go on mute. All right, there you go. Go ahead, country boy.
Man, Reggie was doing so good too with that mute. I'll be looking forward to that, boy.
I'm with you and Reg, because these dudes gotta know the rules of engagement when they out here dealing with these females. In particular, these some of these runner types. So I was wondering, Mr. Scout, how do these dudes normally end up, you know, coming across these types in the professional league, that is?
Well, you know, over the years, like a lot, I wouldn't say a good majority of the guys that's in the NFL, I've been in contact with them one way or the other. Like, I'm talking about on the phone, man, you know, and they do have certain traits when you talk to them on the phone. They're either like, remember, like I was talking that baller talk, they like keep sentences kind of short, you know, to the point. You know, and that's kind of how they live their life, to be honest with you. Or you got the guy that's more like a philosopher type guy that kind of, you know, holds a conversation. There really ain't too much in between. And so they live lives that are just like, you know, full speed, man, you know, and they're looking for the next thrill, you know. That's no excuse or nothing like that, but that's just that's like their lifestyle.
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying that's their type of lifestyle, you know. Like people expect them to be gladiators on the. Now look, ain't no excuses to be doing things because there's a lot of guys. The majority don't do things off the field, but you know you can't expect people to be gladiators and just always turn it off. There's a switch, man. You know, there's a reason you can get on that field and be a gladiator. I mean, I don't know if you've ever been like up close, like, you know, I've been on the sidelines on NFL games, and it's like, man, that if you actually seen like up close, like what it takes for them dudes, like them running backs to make a cut, man, you be surprised, like the dirt that be flying. You know, I can see why like their ankles get broke because they literally got to plant their foot in the ground, and they got to believe that they're gonna be able to bounce back the other way.
Yeah,
I mean, there's no like half step, and you got to like put your foot in that dirt and feel like you're gonna be able to bounce off with all that thrust.
I'm gonna tell you what it almost feels like is you're running on air. So even though the dirt is flying, the way you're running, it's like you're so light on your feet. Even though you're digging in the ground and making that cut, you can't be running and like putting
like
full
plotting.
force.
You can't be plotting. Yeah.
Right. You can't be running full. You've got to almost be running on air, and then you've got to rip and make that cut. Like
Yeah.
you got to make
Yeah.
incredible cuts that
Yeah.
seem humanly impossible, but you're doing it because you're almost gliding on air and you don't feel it. Even though you might be putting pressure on your ankles, you don't feel it because it's you're so on your toes that
like muscle memory, Ted. That's what you do.
yeah.
You just, you know.
And you don't even it's not even you go through this long thought process of I've got to make this cut. You almost in a lot of the top running backs will actually make the play happen before it happens. They will set you up to go where they want you to go and make you go this way, and they already know they're gonna cut somewhere else. But they did it in less than a second.
Yeah. That, you know what, I'm gonna tell you something. I was talking to one guy, you know, that does some evaluate. We was talking, and I was trying to explain to him, running backs to me are like one of the most field awareness type players on the field. Because before they get the ball, I used to do punt return, right?
Right.
So when you do punt return, you're looking up, you're looking down, you're looking up, you're looking down.
Right.
You don't have time to be just looking up and then in the last minute looking down. And so they're always doing multiple things at once. They're looking at where the ball is, where it should be handed off. Then they're almost anticipating where it's going to be handed off because they can't stare at the ball. They got to anticipate because they got to find the hole while they're grabbing the ball.
You
like you were saying, they got to do 2 steps at once.
It's like you've got to have this ultimate peripheral vision where you can look up and see the ball, and you also see who's coming at you.
Yeah, you see blurs.
How many people are coming at you. It's almost like if you're standing face to face, like a fraction of an inch from someone, and they put their arm out and then hold up and say how many fingers, and you need to be able to see without ever moving your you've got
look at Ted. No, you on it. That's true. That's
how the field looks. Same with a quarterback. A quarterback has to have that same mind. He's got to be able to see the whole field, his players when they open up. He's got to know his players so well that he knows my guy is gonna beat this guy right here.
Yeah, anticipation. See,
exactly, and I've got to put the ball where he's going,
not where he's at, where he's gonna be. Exactly, that's not easy to do. And then think about this, Ted. Think about this. Then he's got to adjust where that ball is gonna be for each receiver, because not everybody runs the same speed. Not everybody has the same catching radius. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going. Is it third down or is it first down? Because if it's first down, maybe I can lead them a little extra. And if we don't get it, we still got 2 down. I mean, you got to be, come on, man.
Well, and also he's got to know the defense. Like he's like, all right, that guy, I know he can beat that guy, or the guy he's with is going to run. He's going to run over. So I'm going to throw it behind instead of out there.
Is it muddy? What's the conditions? That's a fact. I mean, come on, man. I mean, when you see somebody like a Brady, like I said, I didn't grow up going, oh, I love Brady. But I did learn to I mean, you got to give him credit, man. I mean, he's consistent. He is very consistent thrower. And to be consistent almost throughout your career, with the different players he's had to throw to. I mean, come on, man. If you watch the game and you say, I hate Brady, come on. What does that even like mean? I don't even know what that like means. Like, you have to respect his game, you know? You have to respect his game.
Hey, so wait, country boy, I don't know if you really fully engaged the scout the way you wanted. So let me take a step back. Country boy, did we lose you?
Uh-oh. He might have to butter that bread or something like that.
Go ahead.
I was just asking you guys to repeat the question because I thought I heard one of y'all asking something.
I did. I said, I'm not sure if you fully engaged him the way you wanted. So let me take a step back and be quiet so you can engage him. The scout.
Well, the conversation going good so far, because the way you two just described all this cutting on the dime type of stuff, it almost make it sound like them dudes more like performing some type of athletic ballet type of stuff on their field.
Kind of. Yep.
I'm glad he said that. Yeah. That's a good, yeah. That's exactly what's happening. That's why when I hear people say something like with the running back, right? Like you might have a freshman running back that comes in and be, just tearing it up, or like a rookie running back that comes into the NFL and they say, oh, that position's easy. I'm thinking to myself, what, like he makes it look easy.
Right.
Because he's outstanding at what he does. It looks like all he's doing is getting the ball and just running. Yeah, technically that is what he's doing. But if put it this way, if they was able to put a harness inside his head and the calculations that he's taking on each step before his step, and the things that's going through his head and the blurs he's seeing, man, you literally would probably think that dude was a genius.
In some ways.
And I'm not even talking about the outstanding running backs. I'm talking about your regular running back in the NFL. Right. You have to calculate how far this guy's from you, how hard that hit's gonna be. Can I bounce off the hit? Can I make it to that hole, or should I do a juke cut? I mean, come on, man. There's so much.
Well, it's also, so there's a certain mindset, like you were saying, like off the field, there's a mindset that exists. But also is, how did you train your body? So if you train your body to make these cuts, and I'm glad Country Boy said that, because I remember reading that the samurais back in the day in Japan, they took dance. They were, they had some level of mastery in dance so that they could move with great agility as a samurai. And Bruce Lee, he won dance contests. So there's, you can play football and train more and more and more football, but there are other things that you can train at that have nothing to do with football, except it gives you a better ability. So if a running back could move like a ballerina, I mean, that sounds like oxymoron. Why would a running back be moving like a ballerina, right?
I know what you say. I know what you're saying. Yeah. No, but you know what? I'm glad you brought that up. Excuse me, Country Boy. But when I'm evaluating, a lot of times, like say if I got a question about a guy, I see because there's times when I'm watching a game and there's a reserve running back, let's say, right? And he might get 2 carries, right? And out of the 2 carries, one of the carries might be -2. But in that run that he did for -2, I'm like, whoa, I think I seen something, So then he might get 1 more carry. And then I go, oh man, he might only got 2 more yards, but it's what he did with them. He might only had 2 carries for 1 yard, but he did more in those 2 carries than the guy that got 5 carries for 105.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because he showed characteristics, like juking guys, figuring this, figuring that, maybe even like having the ability to, here's another thing when it comes to running backs, you got to have the ability to avoid contact or not take full contact hits on, because you won't be in the league long. And that's not a talent I would say you're born with, but you better create it and figure it out.
Earl Campbell.
Yeah.
What a Country Boy, what were you going to say?
I'm with the scout, and it may sound far-fetched about the technique some of them dudes using, but you take one of the typical running back that's 6'3", 215, 225, and that dude got all that pad on, Ted, and that dude can move. I mean, them dudes can show that move. Boy, it'll make you feel like a little kid watching wrestling, man, when you see How those dudes operate out on their field, man.
Yeah.
They got all that padding and that weight again, and they moving around like it.
Yeah. And so what both of you are saying is being able to move, but you use the padding to your advantage. But what you just said is not wanting to get hit. So one of the things that
remember the stiff arm, right, Ted?
No, not even that. So I was going
right.
to say maybe someone can teach you, but you know, one of the things that helps you not have to make as much contact is knowing how it's almost like that being on air again. It's being able to go head on, but you don't make a head on collision. It's like you just tap and you spin around and then just keep going because you're not trying to run them over. You want agility. What you want to do is you basically are using the other person's helmet to support your next move. You're just
you know why I'm laughing, because I can tell you know the vision.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like what I'm saying, you want to keep that guy off balance. You want to keep him off balance.
He's standing there waiting for full contact, and all you did was do a little tap, and the tap allowed you to lean on his head, spin around, and then just keep. But you've got to. It's like Country Boy is saying, with all the equipment on, you've got to have this agility. And you learn to use the equipment as a tool to your advantage to be able to move like that. So
why does it seem like you might have wore some cleats back in the day there, Ted?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. I don't think you gained that knowledge by going to Walmart.
Watching it.
You got too much nuance there, bro.
We had I as a running back, we had some drills one day, and the running back coach was, I guess, being funny. I was a senior, and so he set the bags up. So you have your 2, 4,
right, yeah.
And so I'm giving the ball, and then there's a guy on the other side of the hole, and whether I'm going to run a sweep or I'm going straight up the middle. And he puts the fullback, and this dude had tree trunk legs. He was 6 foot.
Yeah.
He was like 230 in high school. He was built like one of those big redwoods in California. And the coach and me, I'm 5. I'm 143 pounds. So
right.
I got about 100 pounds on me, and the coach has me go straight towards him. And so that means to get past him, I have to run him over, right?
I've been there. I know what you're saying.
I go straight head on. I come full speed. What it's like I'm running on air, full speed.
Right.
And I tap him, spin around, and I run down the field. And I run 50 yards and turn around, and he's still standing there just like this.
Right.
And so when I was done, everyone was laughing. He said I was still waiting for contact. He didn't know where I went. So it was like, but I didn't learn that by trying to do it. It's like it's kind of is a little bit of that muscle memory when you talk. So I liked watching college players more than NFL, because college play is a fast game to me. Those guys are trying to get into the NFL, and they're making moves that just were incredible. And of course you did have dudes in the NFL who had those kind of moves, right? So you watch it enough, and then you do it. And don't even know that you just did it.
Right. Because another thing too, something that because I had a similar background. I was like 135. See what I mean? And I'm doing nutcrackers against a guy 235.
Wow.
And yeah, I mean, that's real stuff. And this is every day, in the summertime. And if you backed down and you didn't go 100% back then, you was off the team. So I mean, you just learn you know what I mean? And so, yeah, I took my lumps, but then you start learning how to adjust your body or how not to take the full brunt. Maybe you give a quick, move here and then take them straight on just to get them to hesitate. Whatever you got to do, it's almost survival. to be honest with you.
So it's interesting because as a running back, your objective is to get the ball down the field across the goal line. It's not necessarily to see how many people I can run over, like a Earl Campbell or Larry Zonka. Larry Zonka was breaking ribs,
Hey, you remember that face mask? Oh man.
So it's not, if the goal is to get down, there are guys like Larry Zonko or Earl Campbell, you need that 1 yard, right? Or you're on the goal line and you want a guy who's going to plow through. But ultimately you want to get the ball downfield and you want to get as many yards as possible on your play. So you don't have to prove that I can run you over. It's like the goal is to get downfield. So I don't need to plow over you. I just need to get the ball downfield.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. And I wouldn't even call that smarts. That's just good field awareness. Awareness.
Right.
I mean, that ain't even because sometimes I hear people say, well, he just made a business decision. Well, I mean, that's kind of gray. You know what I mean? I mean, there's no need, look, if you a cornerback and it's 4th down and goal and it's the last play and it's you and Earl Campbell in between you, the way I look at it, man, I hope he don't break my back because I got to go all out. You know what I mean? Because I had that happen to me in high school, and we had a guy that we was going against that was more or less the form of remember All-Star with Tampa Bay?
No, I don't remember it.
You don't remember All-Star, that big fullback they had, number 40? Oh man,
keep going.
Yeah, he was vicious, man. You didn't want to deal with him. I mean, the dude was pulling trucks, on his literally trucks, anyway. So, this dude was like monstrous, like the thunder thighs, like you said, right? And, back then you heard about him in the papers, but it was like, I didn't care about that, I mean, I did nutcrackers with my guys, they was 200 plus. I didn't care. So it was like in a movie, Ted, right? So I'm playing corner. I'm starting at the corner spot. And I was like, man, I want to get a lick on this dude. So finally they run a sweep my way. And the fullback fell. And I said, oh, this is it. It was time. It's time for me to shine, right? So he come my way, had perfect form. I hit his thigh. And next thing I remember is him coming back after he ran like 50 yards down. Because I'm telling you, when I hit his thigh, that felt like concrete. I mean, that dude, I mean, I went all out. I wasn't embarrassed. But I'm telling you, man, he was supposed to go to Penn State, I mean, the dude he was no joke. But at the end of the day, when he came back, he was like, hey, hell of a hit, man. You know what I mean? And at first I was pissed, but then I was like, time to gear it up again. You know what I'm saying? Because in my mind is, if they did that sweep again, I'm going to get you this time. You know what I mean? I might not take you out like I want, but I'm going to trip you up or something. You know what I mean? You ain't going to take it 40. And that's the mindset you got to have on the field.
No question.
And to be honest with you, it's got what you got to have off the field. Absolutely. When it comes to reaching goals and stuff like that's still how I think, man. You know what I mean? In my mind, before I came on this show, I said, man, this is going to be a fantastic show. Because I already said to myself, I already got a fantastic host. I know we're going to have some good people come to the show. It don't matter the quantity, the quality, because I know, I knew who was going to probably be calling in. And I mean, I'm bringing to the table, and let's do this,
Well, we have a new caller, 323. Damn, we just lost. What happened? Oh, he got disconnected, I think. It must have gotten disconnected.
Well, I can stick around for that. I always like the calls,
Yeah, if it's who I think it is, he's a real smart guy.
Yeah. But no, I always like talking football with you too, Ted, because you have a good analytical mindset for the stuff, And to be honest with you, I coach and do stuff on an individual basis with players to this day, once in a high school level when I get a chance. Right. And I got one kid I was working with, this year right now. But you'd be surprised, man, the bond that you have to get with them right away.
Oh, yeah.
Right away. Because the first thing I let them know is I got a standard that I teach. You know what I mean? And you either put it this way, either you're gonna be able to withstand the level of standard I got, or we're probably not a fit. Because I'm not gonna lower my standard.
Exactly. My
expectation for you, I always tell the kid I'm working with, I'm here to make you the best you can be. Because see, I don't compare you to somebody else. Exactly. I'm just here to tap you out as far as I can tap you out. So let's don't worry about what Jimmy's doing over there. Let's concentrate on you, and let's see how far we can take you. And that's you don't make promises, but I tell them, I say, if you do this, this, and this, and I know what I'm gonna put into it, and I'm assuming I know what you're gonna put into it, what you're gonna have to if I keep continuing working with you, you have to show me something. I say,
let's kind of close out on that. So you're talking about a coach now. So is that what are we talked about players, top QBs, Hall of Famers, teams. Mm-hmm. Who do you think the top two coaches are out there?
Well, there's a guy here in Ohio, and I'm really good friends with him, and his name is Tiger Laverty. Okay. And he coaches, I think it's Division 5. It's a lower division of football. And I came in contact with him about 8 years ago, man. And it was an instant bond. You know what I mean? Because remember I told you about that baller stuff? You instantly, you talk to each other for about 2 minutes,
Exactly.
Now, his pedigree is, I think over the last 10 years, they won 6 state championships.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Really? No, yeah, this guy's like I think he won Coach of the Year for the country.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've had 3-4 hour conversations.
So he's up and coming. He's the champion.
Oh man, put it this way: he does high school, but with the mindset that he has, I guarantee he could go to like a lower Division 1 and turn it out. Because it's not like most people will say, well, he's never been in that environment. It doesn't matter. Because one thing I like him is because it's the same thing I would do if I ever get my own team, which is something I'm thinking about down the road. And maybe we can talk about that down, maybe in a couple of more episodes if I come on. But I got too many things I got to do now. But the first thing when it comes to building blocks, like he's done, and we've already talked about, and we just laugh because it's like I already know the building blocks. He's had the chance to implement it. But I already knew everything he's done and we talked about. He would laugh because I would finish his conversation.
Interesting. Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So let me say this. So we were talking about running backs, right? And making those cuts. And you were saying being on the sideline, people don't realize, when they make these cuts and how much
the
thrust, right? These guys like turbochargers, even when they make us a unreasonable cut, like and the dirt is kicking up, but they make these cuts, So these are some things, right? We were saying like they're running on air and they have to have peripheral vision and see, so they see who's coming out of nowhere, right?
Right.
So you don't get hit. So coaches must have something like a running back or a quarterback has something that distinguishes them from everyone else. What do you think that is?
You know what? I would say you absolutely love the sport. What I mean by that is you embody the sport.
Okay.
That means you live it on and off the field. Literally. Like what I'm saying is each and every player that's on your team, you love them equally.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if they start or if they're on the bench. They're to you in your mind, they're an integral part of that team, whether you win or lose. I mean, that's how I am. People that really love the sport and love it for what it is, they truly love it. That means I truly give attention to that so-called 53rd guy that's on the bench.
Right.
Then I do that the guy that might have a chance to go to Ohio State or Alabama.
So
literally, I love them equally the same, and I'll teach and coach them up the same. And if that guy, because I've run into this on coaching staff, like if that kid that's supposed to go to a high division football scholarship, if he's not wanting to be willing and buy into the program, I would literally sit down his parents and talk to them about maybe him transferring.
Interesting.
Because that would be best for him in the program that I'm a part of, you know, because I can't have, it's like a bag of apples. You cannot have that rotten piece of apple in the bag, no matter how genetically formed that apple is. It has nothing to do with it. You see what I mean? So you love the purity of the sport.
Right.
And guys that are these kind of guys, you can spot it with the other guy. Like you could probably tell just in them 2-3 minutes I've been talking how passionate I am.
Right. So who do you think are the 2 top NFL coaches
Right now?
Yes.
Or of all time?
No, let's do right now.
Right now, Belichick, no question about it. I mean, I can't question him because not only like the stuff that because of the success, but like how he carries himself and some of the moves that he does that are uncharacteristic to the majority. That he might bring a guy into the practice squad like too often. I would see, especially in the past, he's dropped off the last 2 to 3 years. I'm not gonna lie, it ain't because of Brady, but I can see the roster starting to get a little funny. But in his heyday, he would bring in guys on the practice squad that other people didn't know and would eventually become starters. That was guys that I knew that I go, okay, he has to know something because these guys weren't even on like the radar of other people.
Interesting.
And so that's why I know if I had a chance to talk to him and he could sit down with me and actually take me on face value that somebody told him, hey, this guy kind of knows football, and took it serious, that we could have a 2-3 hour conversation like it's nothing.
Okay. So that's what that Tiger Laverty could do. And there's a couple other coaches I know like that because it doesn't matter the level. Right.
Because at the end of the day, like anything else, there's a core of everything.
So who's the second one?
Right now, boy, nobody really. I don't think there's too many, to be honest with you. Off the top of my head, like they talk about the guy in New Orleans. He to me, his characteristics, his body language and stuff. I haven't talked to him, so that's part of it. But there are certain characteristics where I go to hint. To me, there's a lot of 3/4 guys. There's a lot of good 3/4 guys, but the full package, I don't see too many full package guys. Like the fact that there's nobody coming to my mind other than Belichick, that's
so all coach of all time, best coach of all time.
Oh, there's a lot of those to me. Like John Madden. See, Madden. John Madden. John Madden, Bill Walsh.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. I would like to say Lombardi, but I didn't get to watch him. But I could tell by his characteristic.
Okay.
And he didn't go for foolishness. There was no like gray area. Either you was gonna go with the ball game or you were gone.
How about Dallas? Dallas's old coach.
Nah, Tom Landry. He was nah, not to me. I think he was good, but he wasn't. I'll tell you who was great was Jimmy Johnson.
Really?
Jimmy Johnson, I'm going to tell you, Jimmy Johnson actually might be one of the top 5 of all time that I've ever seen. Okay. Because he went all out. There was no halfway with nothing. And he was bold about his moves because he had a vision and he knew personnel He knew how to communicate psychologically, because that's important.
Right.
I can't talk to each player the same, because after I know them, I know certain buttons to pull.
Right.
See what I mean? So, you know, yeah, Jimmy Johnson, the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame, he actually was underrated to me.
Interesting.
Yeah, he was but John Madden definitely, because he loved the game.
Okay.
And he loved players for who they were. He didn't try to make them something they weren't. But he had rules when it came to game day.
Okay.
Like he let you be a man outside, outside the game, but that was a different time. Okay. I mean, you can't let people just, you know what I mean? Ted, but for his time, that was like great. And Bill Walsh was legitimately an innovator to me, and he was an innovator when it came to racially too. Okay. Because there's some things I know about that too. So he was all about winning and putting the best people, no matter the color. I want to win. And so, I look at all that stuff,
All right, cool. Hey, Country Boy, any final thoughts, questions, comments you want to have for the Scout before we sign off? Country Boy, you still there?
Oh, yes, sir. I'm right here just sitting there listening.
All right. Any final thoughts, questions for the Scout, comments?
Well, I say this, they sound like the Scout has a very interesting life, man. And boy, it must be nice since you got the autographs of the future Hall of Famers.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I will say this. When I get that YouTube rolling, you'll see some of the shows, and hey, I'm a real humble guy, I am, but I love what I do, and I know what I did in the past, and I know what I'm going to do in the future, and I look forward to having you look at some, maybe the replays if you don't get to see them live, of some of the players as the year progresses on through the draft. Some of the guys I have coming on the show that will be part of the draft, and that I love sleepers. See, so this is gonna be documented. The guys I have on the show, and I want you to follow what they do in their NFL career. So this is gonna be like a living testament. Ain't no getting around this. So the Scout won't be able to back out of this. And I will have Ted on the show. So.
Forward to it. Go ahead, Country Boy.
I look forward to it. I have to check you out.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be a beautiful thing, man. I've been looking forward to doing this for years, but it's just the timing's right, and I'm ready to knock this out the box. You know what I mean?
Very cool. Good, man. Hey, man, this is you've joined me before, and you're often in the chats. So with great comments. Always love your feedback, man. So my pleasure and honor to know you and have you here talking some ball, and hear your predictions and who we should be looking out for come in the future. So
well, I was gonna say maybe in a couple of months we can follow up, because I'll be done looked at so many teams by then, and I'll be able to give you some players to keep an eye on as the season progresses in college. And some names to keep an eye on in the next year or two, and we can check the progress on stuff like that.
All right, so shoot me a Sunday you'd like to do this, so kind of as a follow up. I think that would be a good idea.
That's gonna be great after you come on the show. Then we can really do some good follow up, because I know you're gonna have a good time, man. I can't wait to be on the other side to ask you some questions. I don't know if I'll be as good as you, but I definitely have a lot of questions. That's for sure.
You're very kind. So, hey, for everyone who engaged us in this conversation, thank you very much. I see you guys also on, or you've been watching on Instagram also. So this was recorded. So appreciate the conversation, man. Thanks for being my guest. Thank you for all the listeners, and everyone have a great evening. Enjoy your week. And I'll be back.
One last thing. I know this must have been good for me, because anytime you can be on for almost 2 hours and feel like 20 minutes, I like that. See what I mean? But no, I appreciate coming on. I respect the show, and I respect you, and I appreciate the callers, because you know, Country Boy and the regulars, I love them, man. That's why I come on the show.
All right, good enough. Yeah, you know the voices. That's how you know you've been listening, because
No
you knew
doubt.
as soon as you heard Country Boy, you called it out before he said it.
Oh
so.
man, come on. And then Reggie, I was gonna give him credit, because I said, man, he gonna go the whole show without any background. He had to go that one time. I'm like, dang, Reggie, you know. But it's all good. He improving. See, he improving.
Hey,
so I give him an A+ on the improvement.
And that's one of the big things that we talk about here is high performance. And
Yeah.
look, we talked about it in sports, and you also want to be able to do that as a man and have high performance in your everyday life, man, on and off the field.
Just like the few people I have in my life, I hold them to a certain standard, and they keep me accountable on my standard, that I don't slip up. And we just keep trying to get the standard up and up and up.
No question.
That's why, Country Boy, I want to be able to help you to get to another level. That's what I'm going to help do. Because I might have you to come on the show there, Country Boy. Don't think I won't. All right, Ted, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Hey, good evening, guys. Take care. Talk to you soon. Goodbye.
No doubt. Peace.
All right.